Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you today with our stories of hope. I always love bringing you guests from around the world. Our guest today is from Munich, Germany. And it was interesting when we were talking in the green room before coming live today. I shared a little bit part of my story that a lot of people don't know. And that is I immigrated to the United States as a teenager. My mother married a serviceman and who became my stepfather. And I came here when I was 13 years old, and I became a United States citizen in 2007 or 2000. No, it was 2007 because I wanted to vote. But prior to, it was just fine to be a registered legal alien. So I'm excited to bring my guest on today to share her journey and also what she's doing to help many, many people from around the world step into their gifts and to be in the lightness of their spirit in this ever-changing world. We have to have the tools, we have to have the resources, we have to have the mentors, the people that are supporting us to let go of some of the pains of our past. So my guest is Issamary Blanco, Mary Blanco, I apologize. She's an internationally trained shaman, an energy master, forgiveness therapist, and a leader in the movement to shift the narrative and mindset around forgiveness, from difficulty to empowerment. On this shamanic path, with over 10 years of plant medicine experience, she was trained under shamanic lineages and apprenticed under maestro shamans and the spirits of master plants directly. She's also trained by the Hawaiian kahuna. The people that know this one is the Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer and practice. And she's an energy healer qualified as a Reiki master, a Lightarian Reiki master, and quantum healing master. All of the above, together with her expertise as a counseling therapist, allows her to safely guide you on your journey of self-love, compassion, and connection, creating a safe space for you to let go of anything holding you back and break free from the patterns and limitations that keep you from unlocking your full potential and endless possibilities. Wow, wow, and wow. Welcome to the show today, Issamary.
Thank you. Thank you, Cornelia. It's beautiful to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about this possibility of plant seeds of light and love, and whoever is meant to and guided to hear this today.
Yes, it's wonderful. So, with everything that I just talked about in your bio, all the things that you do now, all the education you've received, all the dark nights of the soul that you experience through all of your practices and spiritual quests, if you will, that the healing modalities and really looking at what the deeper qualities of life are meant to show us. Why did you embark on that path? Why did you go on that journey? What was that about? Like, what was the beginning of it?
Well, the beginning of it as me working with energy started over almost 20 years ago, as my first initiation in this path was Reiki. That's how I started, and really Reiki opened it up this world for me. Then came shamanism, and then it was all together with forgiveness. And that's how I actually, my work, I weave the three of them together, because I use as a bundle, like a holistic healing that I do with, depending on what the client is needing, I
Mm.
tap into one or another. And why I do it, because I'm giving to others what I wish I would have in
Oh,
times of my life. So I it's, for me, really, it's a mission, and that's what I said, that I'm a leader of a movement,
mhm.
and I want to be, however you want to label it, a lighthouse, a hand, just for people that needs support in challenging times in your life.
Right. I mean, and when you look at the state of the world today, the state of the world that we're in, you know, uh, one of the quotes that I like to write in greeting cards, in cards that I give to people, is I like to put a quote that says, "Evolution is inherently unfamiliar."
Mm,
And right now, we are in unfamiliar times, times never before have we been on this type of an evolutionary journey so fully awake. The people that are, the people that have done the work, and the people that are continuously releasing everything they're not to experience everything they are, right?
mm.
And so right now, there's not a more important time than to grow your soul and expand into your full potential. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And another thing that I also love about this work is that, even when you mentioned the people that is already awakened, but even for those that are not ready, they are not yet awakened, we create ripples, and
Mm.
those ripples are like, really, as a ripple, they go and go and extend and extend and extend, and it will reach them, and it will actually alter and interact with their fields, if we talk about energetics, with their fields, and it will have an effect, a positive effects in people, even if they're not ready, even if they don't believe, they don't want to embrace it yet. Doesn't matter, we're actually, again, it's a movement. We're creating a change as we live it, as we embody it. We're creating ripples of love or light and power, and so many beautiful other ripples that we're creating.
Yes, I love that you brought the ripple in. I absolutely uh, endorse that ripple as well, and know that by our energy field, just by our presence, that is also a ripple, and it affects all the people that are around you, which is really amazing how this all works. The thing that, like, let's talk about the people that are in struggle, that are in pain, that are wounded, if you will, from some of their experiences from the past, their traumas from the past, or whatever. um, those are the people that they're also going to evolve, like you said, they're also going to uh, be part of, and at the same time, um, being more actively involved in the process with what it is that you do is very helpful. And I'm sure that you've seen plenty of help, changes in people's lives that you've helped.
Yes, yes, and it's a, I mean, I always tell, when people ask me about what I'm doing, this job, this type of work, and I cannot think in something more rewarding. I think it's a beautiful thing, and in fact, is a privilege. That's something I always mention, especially also when I'm in ceremonies. I always, when I tap and I'm thanking spirit, and I say, I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to be a vessel for all this love and all this forgiveness and all this, yeah, again, love, because love is one of the things that I work more closely with, is the origin of everything. Love was what made us, what created us, and everything comes from that place. The rest is an illusion. It's actually what I call the white noise. It's a thing for distract us from the actual thing, that it's the matter of it, that it's love. And but yeah, that would be going into another theme that we can, I'm super happy to talk about it also. But it's a privilege to do this work and to, again, be a lighthouse. It's just shine your light. That I always tell people, just shine your light, whatever it is, your light, and we all have it. Everyone has a different, we call it medicine and shamanism, but it's a different gift. And you were given that for a reason. Shine bright, be proud of who you are, and just embrace it, and just, again, create ripples with what you are, with your medicine, with your uniqueness, with yeah, it's a beautiful thing that we all have it. It's just a choice of using it or not.
So, on the spiritual path that you're on with, living and learning and studying all these modalities and the healing gifts and everything, did you have a traumatic childhood? Did you have a traumatic experience prior that got you started on this journey 20 years ago? Or um, is that
Yes.
why you started down that path?
Well, I know today, I didn't know back then, but I had, specifically with forgiveness, I always tell people that practice make the master. And if I'm a master of forgiveness, it's because I have had incredible tasks and challenges in my life that has demand from me forgiveness, because I have to practice it so much in order to be able to share this with other people. And it started in my case, now I know that it started in my case when I was in my late teens and I was physically abused. And I didn't know in that time how to cope with that situation, how to cope, how to come out of it, how to heal from it. But then after that, not only heal, actually grow from that, and not letting that situation define me as a human being, define me as a woman, define me of my future. I said, I refuse to be defined and just labeled to that particular moment in my life, because I'm so much more than that, so much more. And that actually got me, that process of really going into that dark night of a soul, that it's one of the, I have more than one, but that was one of them. And it really inspired me and it moved me to practice, even without knowing, forgiveness and more and more. And then I was guided to, by being, it was a calling. That's how it's for me. It was a calling. Me being a forgiveness therapist, it was a calling. This you have to assist people in this. Because again, that was one of the episodes in my life that I have to have infused the beautiful power and the transformational, the key, and that forgiveness is for freedom, for empowerment, for moving on, for propels you. I always feel, and I'm so convinced that forgiveness, it's a tool that can propels you. It can actually put you and shows you your endless possibilities and all the things that you're capable of. But forgiveness is a choice.
That's beautiful. Uh, Now, let's talk about forgiveness a little bit more. With who is forgiveness for? So, like, let's just say there's the person out there, and they still feel hurt, distance from the person that abused them, hurt them, harmed them, and they are listening to this conversation, and they're thinking about what it is we're talking about, like, yeah, maybe I should forgive. Why is that so important for this person to practice forgiveness?
Well, the first thing is that remind yourself that forgiveness is not for others. You forgive for you. Forgiveness is a gift that you're giving to yourself. Because when you forgive, when one of the things is I'm setting free that other person, but I'm setting myself free. So as I forgive you and set you free, I'm in return forgive and set free too. So it's for me. I do it. Forgiveness is start with me, and I'm doing it for me. Because why? Because I want to be free from that, from carrying all that weight, or from, in my case, from the weight and the shame and all the things that were related to that episode in my life. I wanted to be free from that. And I want to not only be free from, I want to break free to really become everything, because that's being attached to that situation. It was actually hindering me. It was actually holding me back from fully embodying all of the things that I have, and tapping into another beautiful qualities that I have discovered, and strength, and that I have discovered as I move through the process of forgiving that moment in my life, that it was a moment for forgiving myself and forgiving this other person. It's forgiveness again. It's a process, but it starts with self, with you, with me, with whoever is in this process.
So, is there anything, do you believe that there's anything in the world that we're observing, seeing, and being a part of? Do you feel that there's anything that cannot be forgiven?
As I said, forgiveness, it's a choice. You have to be ready to forgive. You cannot ask someone to forgive something if they're not ready. We were talking in the beginning about divine timing, and or
Yeah.
something. Some people said time is perfect. It is indeed perfect, because if you're not ready, you cannot move on. Forgiveness allows you to move on, to break free, to, like I said before, but you have to be ready for it. So if you're ready for it, can we forgive everything? If you're ready for it, yes, you can, but you have to be ready. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Ho'oponopono, the background of it?
Yes, of course. Ho'oponopono is a beautiful healing practice that comes from Hawaii. I was incredibly lucky to be initiated by a beautiful Hawaiian kahuna in Ho'oponopono. And Ho'oponopono, it's one of the things that I love about Ho'oponopono. A lot of people have heard the mantra about Ho'oponopono. I can repeat it now. It's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. But if we really go and we tap deep into what each of those statements means, it talks a lot about accountability, responsibility, and gratitude. And those things are key elements in the process of forgiveness. When I say I'm sorry, I'm acknowledging the situation. I'm acknowledging what happened, but also what the role that I play in that situation. And then this can be tricky because, for example, if I talk about my when it happened to me, that I was abused, what role I play in it. It's not the role that I play in the situation of when it was happening or when it happened. It's the role that I play, how I carry that after, how I carry that shame and that guilt, and how I was harming myself. So I'm sorry to me in that case. And then please forgive me. And we take the different each of them. But again, it's accountability. I played a role and taking that part, and thank you. And thank you is tapping into gratitude. When we tap into gratitude is when what I call we hit gold. Hit gold, because that's when you find a gift. There is a gift inside the struggle. And I know it's hard sometimes, especially when you are inside of the struggle, to realize that there is a gift inside. But you have to, and I invite people to see it as, imagine, visualize it, that you're going through a storm. The storm is that challenge in your life. And it can be raining cats and dogs, and it's just horrible, and there's a lot of things happening. But when you get out, that as you walk through that storm, you are becoming, you are changing, you're transforming, you're evolving. It's a process of it's self-mastery. It's the process of self-mastery. And when you get out of that, because it had a cycle, it ends, right? Eventually. And when that happened and you come out, I always tell them, look down. What are you holding? And there is a gift. There is a gift inside the struggle. What is the gift? In my case, it showed me an incredible capacity of resilience that I had, that I didn't know I had. It led me to learn different healing techniques. It guided me to learn about forgiveness. It guided me to be a forgiveness therapist today and help other people. That is a gift. And it taught me compassion for myself and for others. It has so many gifts. So I always tell people, just stop for a minute and really find it. And when you're able to see that, all the gifts that you found, then you're able to tap into gratitude, and you say, well, I'm not condoning what happened, but I can see that there is a gift inside of that. Most of the time there's more than one. And then you can be like, I'm grateful for this. It gave me this thing. So, and that's magic. It's just really, Cornelia, when you're able to tap into that, you hit gold. Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to talk about it. As we're moving, more into the year of 2024, I know that many people chose their words or their themes for the year. And, lots of people want to be free, free to be, free to be themselves, free to be their authentic self, free to be not burdened by the pains and the baggage that we carry from our past. And so, when we're talking about forgiveness, that is a big piece, to be free from the burdens of the past, from the hurts, the crimes, the injustices that have been done to you, and to really claim your freedom, because where we're going is we're moving into a whole new uh, vibration of building and creating, and you're going to be much more better yourself when you have released the pains of the past, right?
Yeah. And not only that, Cornelia, because not only you're claiming back your power, because that's another thing that we have to realize. When we are attached to that episode, a person, that thing, and you get in this, that you talk about it, and you cringe, and you get this physical reaction, you're like, "Ugh," just thinking about it, it having an effect on you. And when you decide and you work through that, and you don't get triggered anymore. That's what I said, when you lose the hook. That's what I talk with clients, and we talk about it. So you're still carrying the hooks, and we have more than one when we have a very situation that was really intense. So when you lose the hook, you can talk about it, and again, you're not condoning that, but you can talk about it without getting better, resent, and getting all these emotions coming up. You're free, and then you decided that that situation no longer controls you. That situation no longer has the power to have that reaction and to create that on you. So you actually claim your power that belongs to you, because you're a sovereign being. Is that, no, this belongs to me, and I'm claiming back my power. So it's not only freedom, it's freedom and empowerment, both.
Yes, and I love that you brought in sovereignty, because that is the truth, is we are all sovereign beings. We've just given our power away to all the things, all the things, and claiming that power back, claiming your universe back, claiming your world back, claiming your life back, reclaiming. I think this is a beautiful way. Let's tell the audience how they can, look you up, like what's your website, your social media.
Yes, of course. Do you want to share it, or should I share it?
No, you do. You share it.
Yeah.
You say it so
So
simply.
so thank you. So people can find me. First, my website is my name. It's isamaryblanco.com. Then Instagram is the same, my name. It's an Instagram. You find me under Issamary Blanco. Isa is with two S's. And then Issamary Blanco. And on Facebook is the same, Issamary Blanco. So if you know my name, Issamary Blanco, you can find me. You just have to Google my name, Issamary Blanco, and you'll find me on Instagram and, yeah, Facebook, and my website. And I'm more than happy to, as I said,
Mm.
this is not my work, this is my mission.
It is
And
a
I'm here to,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a movement. And I really want to change the narrative, and not only around forgiveness, from disempowerment, from victimhood, from difficulty, to empowerment. So when you tell people what happened, they don't jump into this, "Oh, I'm sorry," and it's like, I'm sorry also that it happened, but that is not from that pity place of like, "Oh, poor thing." It's from you, again, you reclaim your power, and we have to change that narrative, that it's not, "Oh, I'm sorry for you." It's like, no, it's not for me. That actually propelled me into being who I am today. And I'm incredibly proud of that. So I'm not ashamed. I'm not sorry for it. it's I'm proud of it.
Yeah, that is a good way to flip that. That's beautiful. I love that mission. Thank you so much, Isa, for coming on the show and sharing your beautiful gifts with us all here. And I want to thank the audience as well for listening and tuning in. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited to introduce you to our next guest, Jenna Wilson. She's a spiritual woman who also plays the roles of widowhood, mother, doula, midwife, and childbirth educator, as well as energetic healer and intuitive guide. One of Jenna's superpowers is to recognize the growth opportunities and spiritual lessons in all events. She uses this in many tools to help her clients persist with a growth mindset and achieve their own unique version of heaven on earth. In her free time, Jenna enjoys many creative endeavors, but her all time favorite pastime is quietly observing the wonders of nature. Welcome to the show today, Jenna.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
So great to have you. So, I always right away, when I hear a person represent their spirituality, right away, it puts me at ease. It makes me feel, yes, we already have a commonality here with, you being a spiritual woman, me being a spiritual woman. In our life, spirituality is, part of our leadership, right? In what it is that we
Yes.
do. And so, like on this path that you're on, healing, helping your clients, through childbirth, however you're supporting them, but also their
Yeah.
empowerment journey as well, right? And
Yeah.
so, what got you started on this journey? Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Um, it's like a lifelong history, right, of being raised by a young kind of hippie mom. She was taking a step away from like a conservative Irish Catholic family, and I grew up like like going to chants like fur is murder, don't buy fur. Um And so in that context,
Mm.
finding birth work felt like an extension of that, of just kind of human rights and like this transformational time to be working with people. What really catalyzed everything, so that's kind of like the context, right, and the historical view, and what completely transformed my life and my spiritual kind of understanding of the world truly was the traumatic loss of my husband.
Oh,
He died in a flying accident just over 7 years ago, so December of 2016.
so that was a big shock. That was a big shock. That was a big, huge loss. I'm
Yeah.
really
I mean,
sorry.
shock, like, I hear, people describe it as, like, their lives are shattered, you're, like, stripped of everything you know, and what's what's been so interesting is to, like, walk this path of grief personally, while also continuing to walk alongside families in birth and notice the parallels. Like having a baby, everything like flips, right? Your life does a 180, but it's like gradual. For a lot of people, it's wanted and anticipated and planned, and you can prepare. And grief and like a traumatic loss is that happens like that. There's no preparation, and so you're just stripped. Like, I remember just like, it was such a transformational experience to ask someone for sunglasses. Like, because the world was, like, too bright, and someone was just like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "I need some really dark sunglasses." And they brought me dark sunglasses, and I was like, "Okay." So just like little examples like that of how I could create the reality that I needed. That's just kind of one little example that comes to mind.
It's so huge. Lots of things came up for me while you were talking. Like the first of all, I want to, uh, acknowledge the person that says to you, "What do you need?" That is such a huge piece that a lot of us don't practice on a daily basis, even in living our lives, is having our needs met. And how can we have our needs met when we don't even ask for what it is that we need, nor less being able to identify what your needs are? Not just during times of grief, but during times of your everyday life, because we're always letting go, not to the traumatic event that you did, but you knew, oh my God, I am grieving. It's too bright. It's too much. To be able to see and keep my eyes open, I need that you were able to say that, and kudos to the person that asked you what it is that you need. So
Yeah.
that's really awesome. I can't imagine, what it was like for you to lose your husband. And did you have children with him?
We had a son who was 15 months old at the time, and he's now 8.
I mean, that right there, it's like, if anything's going to make you mad at God,
Yeah.
that would really question everything, and question your spirituality, question your path, question your faith, question everything. So I like also how you're, I think you've said it a little bit, but you also had it in your bio, how you were picking up your experiences and, what's showing up in your reality and then transforming them into a higher state of consciousness and beingness. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yep.
is that how you created your heaven on earth version?
That is a largely informative part of it. So that like that example of the sunglasses was like grief just strips all of the constructs, right? Of like, oh, well, gotta, what we should do and da da da. And so I basically like got the veil lifted on be like fitting in and just going through the motions as a human. I was like, oh, uh there's a lot of this that we're used to doing, like it doesn't actually matter. And so I I feel like I'm still in the process of integrating those lessons in my life. I went back to the job as a midwife that I had. I did take a few months off, but then worked in this job until it just didn't fit anymore. And I'm interestingly like in a similar kind of like a newer job in a new community. And I'm like, this is just not feeling like a fit anymore. And what I'm taking from that grief experience and personally, and that I work with my clients and families on is recognizing that fit, that mismatch and just doing something about it. And it doesn't have to be like rash or irresponsible, although I did drive across country with my then 6-year-old with no place to live and no job in the community that I landed in. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that. It did work out, but that wasn't like a great move to like heal my nervous system. That was just like leap of faith. And yes, I landed, but could have set up the landing a little more gently.
Are you an
Um,
Aries, or do you have an Aries
no, I'm on the cusp of Cancer and Leo.
Cancer
I
and
have an
Leo?
Aries moon. I just learned I have an Aries moon.
Hello, hello. Did I not just ask you? Did I
You
not just
did.
ask you? Because here's the thing, is the moon is about how we feel, and how, that's what it's all about. So whenever you did take that action, to just go, and you didn't consider your emotional security or your nervous system, that Aries is just going to compulsively go act. go and charge forward. Like, I'm going for it. And I asked you, are you an Aries? And so, well done you. Well done you for calling it. That's so awesome. Oh my God. I
That's
totally could
great.
see that. You know why? Because I am an Aries rising. So I'm an Aries rising. So when you were talking about, I could write and make the parallel connections. Oh yeah, I have taken leaps like that. And
You
yes,
recognize that.
I totally recognize that pattern. That's why I said, hey, are you an Aries? So isn't that cool?
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said helping, families, helping people, do something about it. Do something about it. Because why would somebody want to do something about it? Is because a lot of times people feel stuck and
Yes.
they sit in it for too long without changing their life. Because really, when you think about it, who are we to know how long we're here for?
100%.
Right.
Yep.
And, we came here to live this life, to live in our authentic self, to step into our full potential, while at the same time letting go of the old dying world, grieving losses. I mean, this is all hard stuff, but
Yeah.
uh, we can do it. We said we can, and we're here for it,
Right. We signed up for it. We might as well. Might
right?
as well do it in a full way that feels empowered. So one of the things that I've seen in over 15 years of working with families in different roles, started out as a doula, and then became a licensed midwife, and now I'm back to doula work and childbirth education. And there is such a power differential in families, they're understandably like overwhelmed, anxious, feeling vulnerable, like care about their little one. They want to like do everything quote unquote right. And what my mission is to help people find the resources that are actually like well-founded, evidence-based, not fear-based information, so that when they do have questions and they want questions answered, they're not like honestly like on WebMD and reading things that are so just fear-based and like truly, not to get too conspiracy theorist here, but like Google is not a free like source of all information. You're not going to get unbiased info just, searching wherever.
I'll just say, if Google is not the search engine that considers the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
not, right? It's input information that was input, and Google is not the God.
correct. And people treat it like that, especially in pregnancy. So many questions. I mean, I heard a young sweet mom like just found out she was pregnant on Thanksgiving morning and didn't want to tell her family yet because like there's this whole like don't say
Yeah.
anything yet. And so she told me that she was like sitting at the table like secretly googling, can I eat, I think it was like deep fried venison or something, like can I eat venison in the first trimester? And like there's got to be a better way, right? Like so I'm coaching clients, I'm developing group containers and developing this content and resources where we can remember what it's like to be pregnant as mammals, not as like humans in such a constructed society. But like how do we get back to that like inner wisdom, body wisdom, spiritual wisdom, even like how do we get answers from somewhere other than Google?
I apologize. Yes, because the reason why, and I think this is so great, and I encourage you to do it, what you're going to create with I encourage that you do that, because here's the thing. If we want to take full responsibility for our own empowerment, our own intuitive guidance, our own knowing, and tapping into those resources that are already within us, that are already there, we should consider asking us first. So, like, instead of typing to Google, can I eat venison? Sit down with your journal and write out, can I eat venison? And then instead of expecting, the information to come right away, which it can to you,
Sure. Yeah.
like by a yes or a no kind of thing. But it may be told to you by an angel or a messenger or somebody else, right? Venison is so good to eat when you're pregnant. I mean, something like that.
Exactly.
Right? It could be in these kinds of ways. But most people look outside of themselves for information instead of asking their own higher guidance, their own inner spiritual self, their own wisdom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you and I are on the same page about all this.
I think so too.
I
That's very
think
exciting.
that's so cool. Yeah. And I think it's
Yeah.
great what you're doing. The other thing that I think is fabulous is that, you are a young mother and you're raising a young boy, a young man, and he is being raised with someone like you who has all of these amazing ways of looking at truths and gifts and empowerment and all of that, which is going to enhance him because of the beliefs that our children, right, they take on the beliefs of the parents. So the fact
Yes.
that you are raising your son who is a future leader in this
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
So
I'm so touched that you brought it back to that because he's a special boy in his own right. And it has been just the joy of my life to share some of these ideas with him and even see his own. Like he just, there's those classic questions that kids just ask, and I can't think of one right now, of course, but like just the way that his mind works and like I cultivate that. I feed that and like like just the wonder and I want to model that to other families too. Um of just yeah, open-mindedness.
Yeah, and I think that even though I don't know your son, but from the little that I know about you, like he probably looks at you with awe and wonder, because how can you do all these things? And how do you know all this stuff? And how can you do all this and that you know everything? And it's like, so he's probably, he's definitely being held
Mhm.
in such a beautiful way. Yeah, and raised in such a beautiful way. And it's good that you're teaching other moms and parents about educating them, about opening their mind. Like somebody mentioned to me the other day, WebMD. And I remember there was a lot of conversation going on and whatever, but I remember thinking to myself, really? Um, because, you know, that's not somewhere I would go, WebMD.
Right. I actually that phrase almost came out of my mouth earlier when I was talking about like how Google isn't the the place of all answers. Like people go to WebMD and look up, my rib hurts in pregnancy, and like next thing you know, they think they're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, it is not, yeah, just not supportive. So I'm on a mission to just like bring some breaths of fresh air and like reassurance um to new families.
That's so good. That's so good. It's beautiful work that you're doing. How do you like you're coming here on this show, and how do people work with you? What is
Yeah.
that like?
Yeah. So my virtual services looks essentially like kind of coaching sessions. And I do a combination, like kind of depending on where people are. Um, so I've specialized in kind of like the childbearing year. I'm happy to work with people who are outside of that year, but since that's my specialty, I'll kind of talk about that more. So I can work with people anywhere from preconception all the way through postpartum and offer informational support. So ways to nutritionally support their bodies and all the way through. And then if they're in pregnancy, I can talk about like evidence-based informational resources, alternate options for certain tests that people might be presented with, movement and ways like movement resources, ways to support their body in pregnancy. And then this is where the really fun fusion comes in, is that I have training with an incredible teacher named Alea Dow, and she does work in the higher realms. And we work with higher self. I can support people in connecting with their baby's higher self, even so like some spirit baby communication, and receive messages, and also in a really unique, kind of subtle and gentle, but really profound way, I can support people in shifting energy patterns. So
So
even like ancestral, at this pivotal moment of childbearing, I have a gift to like see patterns, and so they can just talk about like, oh well, my grandfather died of a heart attack and so did my dad or whatever, and like boom, I can see kind of energetically what's happening, um and model um like a transformational way to work with that energy. So it's a unique type of energy work because I'm talking through kind of what I'm seeing and talking through some ways to shift that, but I'm modeling it like in my energy fields and holding space for the client to kind of do it in their own energy fields. And so that type of work makes it really sustainable because people can shift themselves to the degree that they're ready. It makes it sustainable for me because I'm not like doing anything in people's energy fields. And it makes it really personalized because people can really feel like what's resonating, what's working with them. And we'll pivot. Like if I kind of name something and we start working with it and they're like, it's not kind of feeling quite right, I'll look at it again um and see, okay, well maybe it's this. And so it's a really I'm excited. It's fun, it's neat, it's powerful, and it's unique.
what I really
Yeah.
like about what you're talking about is, again, it reminds me of the word doula. Uh, you're guiding, supporting, holding, um, for the best possibility to come, to give birth to. And I just think it's so empowering to have someone like that offers what you're offering to
Mm,
do this kind of work, because it's a interactive process, basically is what you're
yeah.
talking about. It's interactive. And I really like everything you said. I was really listening and seeing the visualizations of all that. So I think this is wonderful. I want to let the audience know how they can find you on social media, how people can look you up.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so my business name is Agape the Heart Intuitive Coaching. Agape is a Greek word that means like God's unconditional love for man, human. And so Agape the Heart Intuitive Coaching on Instagram and Facebook. is the name of my business page too. And I'm Jenna Wilson also on Facebook. And then I have my website, agapetheheart.co, is where they can sign up to receive a beautiful little PDF that outlines 3 steps to like gain peace in your pregnancy right away. So just 3 little tools that can be employed really easily and right away to just shift into a more centered, connected mindset. And on that website too, they can that'll get them on my mailing list, and can stay up to date with all my future offerings.
That's so great. I really encourage you, Jenna, to take this video and share it out on your social media next week. That's my mom calling. She's called twice now, so there must be something going on.
Oh boy, hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to call her right back as soon as we're done here. Is to share this video. The audio, the replay is the same, so share it with, and all of you that are listening to this, share it with people that you know in your life that are looking for that type of support. You shared a lot with us today, with different offerings. The grief experience that you've experienced in your own life, speaking to that was so powerful. I also experienced a lot of grief in my life, and I remember when I was grieving, what would be so perfect is for me to have those dark sunglasses that you had, put those dark sunglasses on, and my t-shirt that says, I'm grieving.
Right.
And then when I go to the grocery store and I don't want to talk and I don't want to smile and I don't want to say anything, the cashier can just look at me and see, oh, she's grieving.
Exactly.
Right.
And wear those dark sunglasses inside, because it's about making your own rules, right? And
Yeah.
doing what works. And that doesn't like hurt anybody. Of course we're not going to be sloppy with our needs. But
No.
yeah, wear dark sunglasses inside if you need to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a great way. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to leave it there. Wear dark sunglasses inside if you're grieving. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. So I want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. Jenna Wilson, thank you for coming on and sharing your gifts. We appreciate you. And we'll see you all again next week, everyone. Take good care. Bye. You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.